I stepped forward, still holding the photo, unable to blink. That moment unraveled every breath I'd ever taken with her. Her smile wasn't the one I knew. It was hungrier, hidden in secrecy, meant for someone who looked exactly like me but never earned the right. I staggered back, feet clumsy. The world swirled in silence. Even the wind paused. Then came her voice. Light, unassuming, calling from the kitchen. "Babe, you forgot your keys again." My mouth wouldn't work. Every word turned to ash. She walked out, barefoot, damp hair wrapped in a towel. Her eyes lit up, until they saw my face. Then her steps faltered, gaze drifting downward, settling on the paper in my hand. Her knees nearly buckled. "Where'd you get that?" she whispered. I couldn't answer. "Not yet." She moved closer, slow, cautious, like approaching a wounded animal. "Let me explain," she started, voice trembling. I threw the picture onto the floor. His face stared back. Mark. My brother. Shirtless, lying beside her in the bed I bought, arm draped possessively across her. She bent down, trying to scoop it up. I stepped in front of her. "Don't," I growled. She straightened, cheeks flushed. "It wasn't what it looks like." I laughed bitterly. "Oh, so he wasn't inside you?" Her head jerked sideways like I'd slapped her. Tears welled up. She tried again. He told me you cheated. Said you'd moved on." I was vulnerable. My knuckles whitened. "Why would you believe that?" Her shoulders slumped. "Because I trusted him. Because he said you didn't want me anymore. You didn't ask me. I didn't think I had to." I stared through her, not at her. I wanted to believe she'd been tricked. Manipulated. But no manipulation excuses the way she held him, the way she looked at him, the way she laughed into his mouth while he kissed her collarbone. She touched my arm. "Please. Let's just talk." I pulled away. "You let him inside you. There's no coming back from that." She wept openly now. But something in me had cracked too deep to cry. I turned. Left the apartment without another word. Outside, autumn choked the streets in copper leaves. My car waited beneath flickering streetlights. As I drove, my mind spun in ugly loops. Mark. Of all people. He'd always watched her. Even before she and I were serious. But I chalked it up to family quirks. Never thought it meant something deeper, darker. I stopped at a red light. Looked down at my phone. 12 missed calls. All hers. Then one from him. No message. I tossed the device onto the passenger seat. What kind of person violates blood and bond just to steal what isn't his? How did I not see it? Every family dinner, every lingering glance, every weird joke he made at her expense. And she never pulled away. She laughed. Smiled. Let it continue. I'd been played by them both. I gripped the steering wheel, jaw locked tight. Tonight had changed everything. And I wasn't sure what part of me would survive it. Not yet. But I knew this. I wasn't going to let it end like this. If he thought he'd won her, if she thought she could break me, then they'd underestimated the man I'd become. And I was just getting started. Sunlight filtered through crooked blinds as I sat alone inside a motel room that smelled like wet drywall and forgotten cigarettes. The television blinked quietly, volume muted, showing faces that didn't matter. My reflection in the dark screen looked nothing like the man I was days ago. Anger hadn't faded. It fermented. I hadn't returned home. Didn't answer her texts. Didn't call Mark. Didn't tell anyone where I went. I needed silence. Distance. Space wide enough to process betrayal. Then, 3 sharp knocks on the door. I moved slowly, grip firm on the bat I'd grabbed from my trunk after leaving. Peephole showed nothing but long blonde curls, trembling shoulders. "Liana." I opened halfway. She gasped when she saw me, makeup ruined, mascara streaked like bruises under her eyes. I didn't know where else you'd go," she stammered. "Leave." "No," her voice cracked. "You need to hear everything." I stayed quiet. She stepped forward. "I know what I did. I know how it looks. But please, listen." "Why him?" I finally said. She leaned against the doorway, shivering. I never meant for it to happen. He came over one night when you were working late. Said you were lying. That you were cheating. You believed him? I asked, heart pounding. She nodded. I was scared. Vulnerable. And then, he kissed me. I didn't stop it. I didn't know why. Maybe it felt familiar. Like you, but darker. That's disgusting. I know. I felt trapped. Every time I tried pulling away, he threatened to tell everyone you'd been abusive. That you were unstable. My stomach turned. That never happened. I know that now. She wiped her nose. But it wasn't just that. He wouldn't leave. He'd show up drunk. Grab my phone. Take pictures of me sleeping. Said if I told you, he'd ruin both of us. You let him control you. I didn't want to. I swear. Why didn't you tell me? She looked down. Because some part of me believed maybe you didn't care anymore. And because the shame, it ate everything. A pause stretched. I searched her face, trying to separate truth from performance. But her eyes, swollen, bloodshot, held no seduction, only pain. He's been obsessed with me since before we ever dated, she whispered. Back when you two lived together, he'd stare while I walked around the house. Once, he touched me when you were in the shower. I said nothing. What? I hissed. I didn't want to cause a war. I thought maybe I misread it. But then it escalated. My hands clenched. She stepped inside without invitation. Laid her phone on the nightstand. Look. I opened the gallery. Messages from Mark. Photos. Him shirtless. Him outside her window. Him in her driveway at midnight. Messages saying, "You belong to me. I'll get rid of him if I have to." Cold fire crawled across my skin. Why the hell didn't you show me this earlier? Because I thought he might hurt you if I did. That flipped everything. Now fury wasn't pointed at her. Not completely. I sat, silent, scrolling through threats, texts, pictures she'd clearly saved as evidence. She wasn't only a participant. She was prey. Manipulated. Cornered. And I, her so-called protector, hadn't seen any of it. "You have to believe me," she whispered. I looked up. "I do now." Her shoulders collapsed in relief. Then she moved toward me slowly. "I still love you." My body tensed. "I know you hate me." But I never stopped. Her hands brushed my jaw. Lips hovered over mine. I shouldn't have let her. But I did. Because part of me still needed her like air. She kissed me hard, desperate. I responded, fire igniting between guilt and desire. Clothes vanished like fog. We stumbled onto the bed. Her body arched beneath mine, nails raking my back. Tears mixed with moans. Our rhythm violent, raw, real. We didn't speak. We just burned. As if by doing this, we could destroy everything he touched. When it ended, I laid beside her, heart thudding. "I'm going to him," I said finally. She sat up. "Don't. I need answers. Closure. He's dangerous. I'm not afraid." Her mouth opened, closed again. Then she nodded. "But I'm going with you." We drove back under a sky smeared with charcoal clouds. Mark's place sat at the end of a cul-de-sac, curtains drawn, lights off. I parked outside. Before knocking, I told her to stay in the car. She nodded reluctantly. When the door opened, he stood shirtless, smirking. "Well, look who's finally man enough to come see me." My fist flew before he could finish. Nose cracked. He stumbled back, blood spurting. "You disgusting bastard!" I roared. He laughed through it, teeth red. "You jealous? Thought I couldn't take her from you. You didn't take her. You threatened her. Same thing." He lunged. We crashed into the wall. I slammed him against the fridge, pinned him by the throat. "You stalked her. She wanted it. She begged you to stop." His grin faded. He spat blood. "You never deserved her. I made her safe. You made her weak." I pulled back, released him. He coughed, sank to the floor. "You're nothing now," I said. "I'll always be in her mind," he muttered. "You'll be in jail." His eyes widened. "I recorded that," I added, flashing my phone. "You're lying." We weren't. Cops showed up 10 minutes later. We handed over everything. The threats. The photos. The voicemail Liana secretly recorded where he described her body, what he'd do to her if I ever left her side. They cuffed him screaming. Our father arrived hours later. "You set him up," he accused. "No," I replied. "He did this to himself." Mother just cried. Didn't say a word to me. Only followed the officers to the station. Liana clung to my hand the whole time. I didn't look back. Only forward. Weeks passed. News spiraled across town faster than wildfire. Everyone whispered our names. Hers, mine, Mark's. Some voiced pity. Others speculated. But the people I expected to support me, they vanished. It started subtly. Unreturned messages. Dodged calls. Then came the letters. From my father. From our mother. From relatives I hadn't seen in years. Not one showed empathy. Not one condemned Mark. Instead, they accused me of betrayal. "You humiliated him publicly. You let police get involved. You're exaggerating." Each note more infuriating than the last. They painted him as broken, misunderstood, emotionally fragile. They called me vindictive. Liana and I sat in my apartment reading them aloud, disbelief stretching across both our faces. "They're insane," she muttered. "No," I whispered. "They're protecting their golden boy." Mark always had that shine. That fake charm that disarmed teachers, neighbors, girlfriends. He played wounded so well, no one ever saw the blade in his hand until it was already inside your back. "I want to confront them," I said. She looked worried. "They won't listen." "I don't care." I needed them to see. To know. I wouldn't carry the shame they wanted to hand me. The following Sunday, I drove to our parents' house. Alone. The second I stepped inside, I knew the ambush was waiting. Uncles, cousins, family friends, dozens packed into that damn living room like it was a courtroom. "You've torn this family apart," my aunt said before I even closed the door. I stared around, heart pounding. "Mark stalked my girlfriend." "He was confused," someone shouted. "He manipulated her." "She's not blameless." "He threatened to kill me." "Drama." "He left cameras inside our vents." That got them quiet. I held up the flash drive with footage. "Everything's here. You think I made this up?" Silence. Then my mother spoke. "He loved her." "Is that supposed to excuse him?" "No," she whispered. "But love can confuse a man." I laughed bitterly. "And what am I? Just collateral damage." "You went to the police." "He left me no choice." "He's your brother." "He's a predator." My father stood. "You're making this worse. Press will come. Reporters. Our name will be dragged." I took a deep breath. Then set the drive on the table. "You want to protect him? Go ahead. But keep this. Watch it when you finally stop lying to yourselves." I left. Didn't slam the door. Didn't scream. But something inside me splintered forever. Back home, Liana waited, curled on the couch, face pale. "They chose him," I said. She didn't answer. Instead, she kissed me. Soft. Slow. Apologetic. Fingers gripped my shirt. I picked her up, carried her into the bedroom. We didn't talk. We just touched. Every scar, every freckle, every memory. Our bodies knew what to do. They remembered love better than our words ever could. When we finished, I lay beside her, arm draped over her hip. "I still don't understand how you got pulled in," I whispered. She turned her head toward me. "It started small. He offered rides. Then attention. Then guilt. You never told anyone. Who would have believed me?" That truth ached. Mark was the favorite. Always had been. He could have burned down the house, and they'd hand him marshmallows. "He told me once," she said suddenly, That if he couldn't have me, nobody would. A chill ran down my spine. I sat up. What do you mean? He texted it. I deleted it, but I remember the words. My gut twisted. We need a restraining order. She nodded, but neither of us moved. Some part of me knew Mark wasn't finished. The moment the family turned on me, he'd won something. And he never quit while ahead. It came 2 nights later. An envelope slipped beneath our door. No return address. Inside, photographs. Liana. In our shower. In our bedroom. In the kitchen. Taken recently. I checked the frames. He'd planted more cameras. Somehow, I ran through every corner of the apartment, dismantling clocks, vents, lamps. Found one behind a painting. Another beneath the TV console. Every discovery made my hands shake more violently. He's watching us. She started sobbing. I called the police immediately. They came. Confiscated the envelope. Marked it as a new violation of the existing case. But still, no arrest. Laws move slow when you're trying to stop monsters who know how to look innocent. We checked into a hotel that night. Anonymity. Fresh walls. Clean sheets. We tried to sleep, but neither of us could relax. At 3 a.m., I stepped onto the balcony. Phone buzzed. Unknown number. A video file. I opened it. Mark. Holding something close to the camera. Liana's necklace. The one she hadn't seen since moving in. He whispered, "You think you're safe, but I'll always be near." I showed her. She screamed. I held her tightly, heart racing. The next morning, I hired a private investigator. Someone ruthless. Someone unshakable. Within days, they delivered photos. Mark. Outside our new place. Following Liana at the market. Talking to strangers. Asking where she worked. He's unhinged, the PI said. He's escalating. We filed another report. Laws were finally catching up. But it wouldn't stop him. No, he needed something else. Something unforgettable. And I was ready to give it to him. Rain painted the windows that morning, streaking glass like tear trails. Liana slept soundlessly beside me. The dark bags beneath her eyes had faded. She looked peaceful, finally, like the fear had lost its grip, at least for a moment. But my mind stayed alert. The private investigator sent a message at dawn. He slipped. I've got it. A new address. Mark's hideout. He had abandoned his condo. Chose an empty cottage tucked behind the woods outside town. No neighbors, no traffic, no eyes. I drove out. Silent. Alone. I didn't take a weapon. Just truth. He answered the door barefoot, unshaven, grinning. You miss me? He asked, like we were children again, chasing fireflies, not trauma. I stepped in. No cameras this time. I muttered. He smirked. Not ones you'll find. The place reeked of rot, decay, and obsession. Walls were littered with photographs of Liana, some old, others recent. He had turned her into a religion. Why? I asked. He shrugged, eyes gleaming. Because she lit something in me you never did. That's when I saw it. He didn't want her. Not really. He wanted what I had. Always had. The love. The loyalty. The life. He needed to destroy it. I dropped the file onto the table. Photos. Texts. Videos. GPS logs. Every bit of evidence from the investigator. More than enough for a court. You're done, I said quietly. He glanced over the contents. Laughed. No jury will see this. They don't need to. Then I stepped aside. 2 officers entered. Guns drawn. No words exchanged. Mark went still. Froze. For the first time, I saw fear behind his smug mask. The investigator had contacted a friend in federal cybercrimes, an old college roommate. Turns out, recording someone without consent and stalking across state lines came with brutal consequences. He would face prison. He'd lose everything. As they hauled him out, I watched his eyes plead with mine. But I didn't flinch. Court hearings dragged on for months. Testimonies, depositions, family rants. Lies crumbled. His attorneys tried painting him sick, confused, lost. But truth stood taller. The judge didn't hesitate. 18 years. No parole. Mark's face fell like glass hitting concrete. My parents sat stiff in the gallery. Ashamed. Not of him. Of me. Afterward, my father approached. You could have handled this privately. I smiled coldly. Like you did when he stole my toys? Or when he broke into my car? Silence. I walked away. Liana and I moved again. New city, fresh start. She found work at a gallery, surrounded by color, beauty, quiet. I opened a bookstore cafe. Nothing fancy. Just shelves, warmth, espresso, and whispered poetry. Our wounds became stories. Our love grew unchained. We celebrated anniversaries like miracles. Each kiss carried meaning. Each touch reminded us of everything we overcame. And sometimes, at night, when she wrapped around me under the moon's gaze, she'd whisper, "Thank you for choosing me, for saving me." I'd kiss her hair and reply, "You saved me first." The past didn't vanish, but it stopped following. Because sometimes, justice doesn't wear a cape or carry vengeance in flames. Sometimes, it arrives wrapped in patience, in love, in truth. And once truth wins, it never looks back.